Letters of Swami Vivekananda, the new edition in 4 volumes. Letter number 133, addressed to Dewan Haridas Viharidas Desai, care of Mr. George W. Hale, 541 Dearborn Avenue, Chicago, the 20th June 1894. Dear Diwanji Sahib, your very kind note came today. I am so sorry that I could have caused pain to such a noble heart as yours with my rash and strong words. This refers to Swamiji's previous letter to Divanji. I bow down to your mild corrections. Thy son am I, teach me thus bowing. This is from Gita. The original verse is Shishyasteham Shadhimam Tam Prapannam. But you well know, Divanji Sahib, it was my love that prompted me to say so. The backbiters, I must tell you, have not indirectly benefited me. On the other hand, they have injured me immensely. In the face of the fact that our Hindu people did not move a finger to tell the Americans that I represented them. Had our people sent some words thanking the American people for their kindness to me and stating that I was representing them. The footnote reads, in India, various public meetings were held in Swamiji's honor throughout the country, expressing gratitude towards him and the American people for their hospitality. Resolutions were passed affirming Swamiji's representation of Hinduism at the Parliament of Religions. These meetings took place in Madras on 20th April 1894, in Kumbakonam on 22nd August 1894, in Bangalore on 26th August 1894, and in Calcutta on 14th May and 5th September 1894. However, Swamiji received news of these meetings only in the first week of July 1894. Footnote ends. Mr. Muzumdar and a man called Nagarkar from Bombay and a Christian girl called Jean Sorabji from Pune have been telling the American people that I have donned the sannyasi's garb only in America and that I was a cheat, bare and simple. Now, so far as reception goes, it has no effect on the American nation. But so far as helping me with funds goes, it has a terrible effect in making them take off their helping hands off me. And it is 1 year since I have been here, and not one man of note from India has thought it fit to make the Americans know that I am no cheat. Then again, the missionaries are always seeking for something against me, and they are busy picking up anything said against me by the Christian papers of India and publishing it here. Now you must know that the people here know very little of the distinction in India between the Christian and the Hindu. Primarily, my coming here has been to raise funds for an enterprise of my own. Let me tell it all to you again. The whole difference between the West and the East is in this: they are nations, we are not. That is civilization. Education here is general, it penetrates into the masses. The higher classes in India and America are the same, but the distance is infinite between the lower classes of the two countries. Why was it so easy for the English to conquer India? It was because they are a nation, we are not. When one of our great men dies, we must sit for centuries to have another, whereas they can produce them as fast as they die. When our Divanji Sahib will pass away, which the Lord may delay long for the good of my country, the nation will see the difficulty at once of filling his place, which is seen even now. Why they cannot dispense with your services? It is the dearth of great ones. Why so? Because they have such a bigger field of recruiting their great ones, which we have so small. A nation of 300 million has the smallest field of recruiting its great ones compared with nations of 30, 40 or 60 million. Because the number of educated men and women in those nations is so great. Now do not mistake me, my kind friend. This is the great defect of our nation and must be removed. To educate and raise the masses, and thus alone a nation is possible. Our reformers do not see where the wound is. They want to save the nation by marrying the widows. Do you think that a nation is saved by the number of husbands its widows get? Nor is our religion to blame, nor does an idol more or less make much difference. The whole defect is here. The real nation who live in cottages have forgotten their manhood, their individuality. Trodden under the feet of Hindus, Muslims, or Christians, they have come to think that they are born to be trodden under the foot of everybody who has money enough in his pocket. They are to be given back their lost individuality. They are to be educated, whether idols will remain or not, whether widows will have husbands enough or not, whether caste is good or bad. I do not bother myself with such questions. Everyone must work out his own salvation. Our duty is to put the chemicals together. The crystallization will come through God's laws. Let us put ideas into their heads and they will do the rest. Now, this means educating the masses. Here are these difficulties. Number one, a pauper government will not do anything. So, no help from that quarter. Number two, even if, supposing, we are in a position to open schools in each village free, still the poor boys would better go to the plough to earn their living rather than come to your school. We have neither the money nor can we make them come to education. The problem seems hopeless. I have found a way out. It is this. If the mountain does not come to Muhammad, Muhammad must go to the mountain. If the poor cannot come to education, education must reach them at the plough, in the factory, everywhere. How? You have seen my brethren. Now I can get hundreds of such all over India, unselfish, good, and educated. Let these men go from village to village, bringing not only religion to the door of everyone, but education. So I have a nucleus of organizing the widows also as instructors to our women. Now suppose the villagers after their day's work have come to their village and sitting under a tree or somewhere are smoking and talking the time away. Suppose two of these educated sannyasis get hold of them there and with a camera throw astronomical or other pictures, scenes from different nations, histories, etc. Thus with globes, maps, etc. and all this orally. How much can be done that way, Divanji? It is not that the eye is the only door of knowledge. The ear can do all the same. So they would have ideas and morality and hope for better. And here our work ends. Let them do the rest. What would make the sannyasis make this sacrifice and undertake such a task? Religious enthusiasm. Every new religious wave requires a new center. The old religion can only be revivified by a new center. Hang your dogmas or doctrines, they never pay. It is a character, a life, a center, a God man that must lead the way. That must be the center around which all the other elements will gather themselves and then fall like a tidal wave upon society, carrying all before it, washing away all impurities. Again, a piece of wood can only easily be cut along the grains, so the old Hinduism can only be reformed through Hinduism and not through the newfangled reform movements. At the same time, the reformers must be able to unite in themselves the culture of both the East and the West. Now, do you not think that you have already seen the nucleus of such a great movement? That you have heard the low rumblings of the coming tidal wave? That center, that God man to lead was born in India. He was the great Ramakrishna Paramahansa, and round him this band is slowly gathering. They will do the work. Now, Divanji Maharaj, this requires an organization, money, a little at least to set the wheel in motion. Who would have given us money in India? Suppose I would have asked you to help our movement before leaving India. Would you not have taken me up for a cheat? Would not everybody think so? Would they not, many of them, still think? I hate to be helped by them who think us cheats. So, Divanji Maharaj, I crossed over to come to America. You may remember I begged all the money from the poor, and the offers of the rich I would not take, because they could not understand my ideas. Now, lecturing for a year in this country, I could not succeed at all. Of course, I have no wants for myself, but my plan of raising some funds for setting up my work. First, this year is a very bad year in America. Thousands of their poor are without work. The footnote reads, the Panic of 1893 was a severe economic crisis in the United States, lasting from 1893 to 1897. Triggered by the collapse of financial institutions and the stock market panic of May 1893, it affected all sectors of the economy and caused high unemployment rates. The crisis led to political upheaval, economic reforms, and the presidency of William McKinley. Footnote ends. Secondly, the missionaries and the Brahmo Samajists try to thwart all my views. Thirdly, a year has rolled by, and our countrymen even could not do so much for me as to say to the American people that he is a real sannyasi and not cheat, and that he represents the Hindu religion. Even this much, the expenditure of a few words, they could not do. Bravo, my countrymen. I love them, Divanji Sahib. Human help I spurn with my foot. He who has been with me through hills and dales, through desert and forests, will be with me, I hope. If not, some heroic soul would arise sometime or other in India, far more abler than me, and carry it out. So I have told you all of it, Divanji. Excuse me, excuse my long letter. My noble friend, one of the very few who really felt for me, has real kindness for me. You are at liberty, my friend, to think that I am a dreamer, a visionary, but believe at least that I am sincere to the backbone. And my greatest fault is that I love my country only too well. May you and yours be blessed ever and ever, my noble friend. May the shadow of the Almighty ever rest on all those you love. I offer my eternal gratitude to you. My debt to you is immense, not only because you are my friend, but because you have all your life served the Lord and your motherland so well. Ever yours in gratitude, Vivekananda. Postscript: I would ask a favor of you. I am going off to NY, that is New York. This family, the Hales, have sheltered me all the time, loved me as their son, and that in spite of the calumny of our countrymen and their own priests, and that I came to them without any credentials or introductions or anything of that sort. I would like to make them a little present. If you can send me some beautiful rugs made in Agra or Lahore, 2 or 3 pieces. They are very fond of Indian rugs for their floors. It is a great luxury. There is one difficulty. The Americans allow nothing in without taxing duty. Perhaps the consul at Bombay can make it come free by permitting it as a present to friends. If not, you may send them over. I will pay the duty here. If they are too expensive, I do not care to have. As for me, I am all right. I have enough to eat and drink and pay rent and go back whenever I like. Yours, V. Care of G.W. Hell, 451 Dearborn Avenue, Chicago. Om Tat Sat.